Okay, so I'm back with another video, and it's going to be another reaction to Bobby Hemmitt when he speaks of the spiritual side of love. So let's dive deep and in depth to these Bobby Hemmitt videos. Alright, so let's go.
You don't like the feeling that it has over you, the power it has over you. The best thing to do is to surrender a gateway if you take advantage of it. If you've ever been in love, especially a lot of males, when you first fall in love, you try to fight it. You don't like the feeling that it has over you, the power it has over you. The best thing to do is to surrender to it. You see what I'm saying? And let it consume you. Let it eat you up, and what it does is it neutralizes the ego. It's a form of melanin. It's a high form of chemicals and different things, and darkens dopamine and all this type of stuff. Different forms of the melanin. And so you, in order to get the full manifestation of it, you have to surrender to it. You have to just say, fuck it. You know, let it beat you down like a goddamn beat you down, chain whip your ass and beat your ass down. You see? And once you do that, you get the benefit, because then you excel to another level. You see, another level.
Yeah, that's very true. You know, there was one time, you know, when I felt like that, and, you know, I don't even think I fully surrendered, but yeah, I was definitely acting different. Yeah, I was doing some not logical things and decisions, but it definitely taught me a lot, you know. And definitely the heart chakra is like the 4th level in the chakra system, and from there you could get to the other levels of the higher chakras. So for sure,
what you're supposed to do when you fall in love, if you ever have the opportunity, you're supposed to let it consume you. A lot of men fight it. When I was young, I used to fight it. Go to all my friends, getting their advice, don't want to face the facts. You see what I'm saying? And one brother stepped to me and said, hey man, you need to go quit talking to all these guys. See, they're only giving you their experience. And whatever you're going through, you need to know it. It's for you. It's not for them. They can give you all the experience on what you're going to do about this love. But face the fact. So as I got older, I found out, and wiser in this knowledge, you let it consume you. You just surrender to it. Submission is power. So you let it give you the beat down, and then you get the benefits from it. Because all you're doing when you're surrendering to it, you surrendering to your own soul, rising to another level. What you're supposed to do when you fall in love, if you ever have the opportunity.
Yeah, and this is what we're talking about when we're talking about like today's perception, today's view on love. And basically, like, people are being taught out there that you're a simp. You know, it's like all these ideologies of love and dating, where now it just becomes like a toxic thing. You know, like back in the day, like love was just like, it was more easier, you know, and people were surrendering a little bit more. Yes, you had the pimps and players and the, you know, the promiscuous women and all that stuff. Like, yeah, stuff like that was always there, and it's still here today. But yeah, the surrendering, like, it's like we're being taught to always be on guard and pretty much lock up. And today's society, like, heart chakra is definitely blocked and locked up, you know.
What you have to do to get your heart right is this one simple thing. You have to fall in love with self. You got to just say, look, this is who I am. This is what was handed to me on the life cycle. And just deal with it. Say, this is it, you know. I'm not going to get another self. Who I am is who I am. You know, quit comparing yourself to whether you look like other people or what other people have, and fall in love with self. There's something about you that you like about yourself. Take that and magnify it. You know what I'm saying? You might scratch your behind a certain way and you go, man, I do that shit good. But whatever it is, what you have to do to get your heart right.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I couldn't agree anymore. You know, it's spot on, and definitely like with the culture of today's, like, you know, Hollywood and entertainment business, like it just casts off this whole thing of being somebody else and dressing like somebody else and talking like somebody else and everything. And yeah, this is what I mean. It was always there, but it's even more today, especially with social media.
The soul acts or responds through romance. Through romance. Two things. It's all right every now and then to sleep in the other room in the house. Let me give you an example. The ancient people didn't stay in the bed with the same people every day. I mean, the ancient people didn't sleep. Women and men didn't sleep together. There's a reason for that. Everything in this universe wax and wanes, polarities, cycles. Now, the waxing period is when the power is connected. The waning period is when it's apart. Now, the polarities is this. You have cycles where you're in your waning period with your mate. And if you're sleeping in the bed with them, you are repelling each other and you're destroying each other, and you become more and more disenfranchised with each other. And everything that you hate about that particular person is only coming based on a certain energy that's waning, and you need to get from around that person. And in this particular case, sometimes it's about going into another room and sleeping in the other room. You see what I'm saying? There's polarities. It's not. We're on the caveman cycle. There was ice on the ground. They ain't have one bare skin, so they had to all sleep in the same room together. Children, babies, mother, daughter, and all of them under the same damn couple of bare skins and stuff, and they're screwing all of them. The concept here is you have to break up the polarity sometime and go in different rooms. You see what I'm saying? And you'll be surprised. So what you want to do is you want to take, especially because this thing also goes back down to the sexual aspect. You want to get sex to the point that it's an event. Oh shit, I'm having sex. Other than a function. You know how when you first get together, it's a joyous time because you start having sex and stuff like that because it's an event. You see what I'm saying? But then you start staying in the same bed and it just becomes a function. Release. So you want to get it back to the point where as it's an event, where it's almost like, oh shit, I'm going to Disney World. The soul acts or responds through romance. Through romance. Two things. It's all right every now and then to sleep in the other room in the house. Let me give you an example.
Yeah, interesting analogy, you know, with the moon and the waning and the waxing. Interesting.
Now, what's the difference between love from an enlightened man than love from the average human? The average human is basically it had a simulation of this energy that rises to the particular heart chakra. But because they don't have the divine mind, what happens here is this can be very emotional. It can be set in several games we play. It can be political, and it can be things for a very short time. It's only when you define this in its rightful form that it can move on to the head. When you don't define this when it rises to this particular level, what will happen is it's only a doorway that is open for a certain period of time. And after that certain period of time, if you don't define it, this is when it shuts down and you end up getting divorced. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Now, what is the gestation of that time? Who knows? It depends on the person. It depends on the energy. It depends on whether it was a real subtle energy or whether you were in love at all. But when you define it by surrendering to it, which is what happens in the book Llewellyn Von Lee book, he said you have to surrender to this. It's only when you surrender to this that it can go on to the head. Now, what's the difference with?
Yep. So, you know, the more to the heart chakra and true love and everything, it's definitely in surrendering. And, you know, what we do when we tried everything that we could try, after, you know, you just give up, you know, and giving up is surrendering and just letting everything just flow the way it needs to flow, you know, and cruise back, and you get to rest, you get to replenish, and just, you know, sit back, you know. Like, it's funny because, like, all the times, like, when you had problems and issues and things that you want, you surrender, and then next thing you know, it happens when you least expected it and when you weren't looking for it anymore. So, yeah, so this is definitely a needed video. Hope y'all enjoy this, and stay Minel, and I'll see y'all next time. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace.